Welcome to the Grain of Salt podcast. We're talking Godzilla Singular Point, episode 10. My name is Hank, and with me is Ben.
Hell yeah. Bud.
Hello.
Bud.
Oh, stuff is happening.
I'll be real.
Yeah.
I even looked at the episode time. For 21 minutes, I was like, they're kind of losing me. Like, there's a lot of talking about shit and showing like parts of shit, but we're not getting like, I've had so many appetizers. I'm ready for my main meal, and then we fucking got it. Oh, what a payoff.
They gave us our Shin Godzilla moment.
Dude, it was so good. Like,
It was fairly excellent, yes.
so early on, we get another like ring shot, right? He shoots like a little ring at
Yes,
the
he powers up his ring.
there's a big Rodan,
a
cool Rodan.
Fires it at a
Dude,
big, like,
smoky,
black
starry black
Venom
It was-
Rodan.
It was cool as hell. I wanted to see more of it. I wanted to get a better look. So I was like disappointed because I'm like, oh Jesus, okay, like maybe the ring is all he has. Like he just does a ring shot. Okay, that's fine.
It's like the thing I remembered is that's like what Manila does. That's his move. He just shoots a ring.
Oh really?
Well, and like
Forgot
he shoots like full blast when like Godzilla steps on his tail that one time. But like in Destroy All Monsters, when everyone's using their move on Ghidorah, he shoots a little ring that just like chokes Ghidorah. It just like flies directly over his head and then falls down and then like closes in.
Blessed. Yeah. So
The energy circle.
like even real late in the episode, well, Godzilla's charging. I was like, and then the camera pans just a tiny bit, and you see a second ring, and I'm like, oh my god, is this it? Is this the one? And then it was so good. I was so hyped.
There were a lot of rings.
There were so many rings, dude. More rings, more power. He just kept charging.
Yeah. Look, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I know it's impossible, though. It was impossible to not lead with that.
That's fair. That was the thing.
Too fucking hyped. Oh.
Yeah, not wrong. So yeah, like Godzilla at the beginning of the episodes, he's looking like he's been looking. He fires one ring at the big Rodan. And we do get a thing later of like after he fires the ring at the Rodan, they can't find the Rodan's corpse.
Yeah.
There's like a line about that. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Rodan
But
shuffled off.
Yeah, we go back to Yun, and those guys are. They go back to the house they were in at the first episode, and they find more of Ashihara's notes.
Mm-hmm. They're talking
And then they
about
realize
the radio.
that, yeah, when they realize the code is, they find like the sequence that is the song is also the whatever the code that they were talking about before, the
MD5 hashes.
Yeah, all the hash.
They find
These
a
kids are
bunch of
going
hash.
to this mansion and getting the hash.
Yeah. And it's turns out to be a chat, a IM conversation.
Well, it's not just it's any conversation. It's the IM conversation they've been having through the show.
The conversation they've been having, yeah. But still
with whatever Iron Beetle or whatever.
Longhorn.
Although
Beetle.
Longhorn Beetle. And like this episode, they figure out it's May finally.
Yeah, they
They finally put that one together. But yeah. So they find Ashihara was just receiving the message. He wasn't creating it. He was just trying to figure it out
Yeah.
like them.
Well, yeah, we get that little. Do we know the backstory about the village before? Did they mention that at all? Because they talk about how a village was destroyed by a giant beast, and the beast was slain, and there was all this red dust, and the war was going on, so it was forgotten about, kinda. But he kept the
I mean,
bones.
we have the painting.
Yeah, kept the bones. Realized that they were emitting shit, and followed up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we get a flashback to May and the professor giving us another example. We have to go back in time to get another metaphor for the thing.
Wait, was it a flashback?
Yes, because she's alive. Because she
Oh,
died in the
right.
last episode.
I didn't even fucking.
And this is a flashback to when she was alive.
You know what?
And May is remembering.
This is
Before it cuts back to the present time when she is no longer a companion with the dead woman because she died last episode. That you can't somehow or like did not. We're like, no, that didn't happen.
I definitely forgot about. I'm really good at just accepting stuff at face value sometimes.
Except when they show you on screen that this person is dying.
It was off screen. She's not dead.
It's on screen.
Oh, that woman is alive. We saw her this episode.
God damn it. I was watching that. I'm like, oh my God, Ben is not going to put this together. He's going to lack the basic visual comprehension to put together that this means this is a flashback because she's dead.
They should have told they didn't do any flashback stuff. I mean, I should have realized that they were in a completely different location.
They make a work of fiction for people who can comprehend things that are on screen. So they cut from that to our character in the present time, no longer with the character who died last episode.
Yeah, but she was like, "We got to get out of here," and then she got out of there. Like she drove away. She was in the car with what's her name. So they were driving away from that place, clearly, you know?
Except they had all run away from their cars at the end of the last episode.
I mean, there could have been more cars. I don't know, man.
You're just wrong on this.
I mean, it's not wrong. It's making connections for fun.
Uh-huh.
Though, yes, I did not initially notice.
I've just noticed that in the flashback, the shirt May is wearing has like a basic drawing of a fish on it, and underneath the fish it says in English, "the fish." That's a good shirt.
Yeah. That's a pretty good shirt. That's a solid design. I'm waiting. We need to keep an eye out. One of the other shirts she was wearing had it's like a math equation. I'm sure it probably I would assume it translates to something fun. Like if you solve it, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Mm-hmm. But like the example, the like thing they're talking about in this episode, in this flashback though, is like you get a number, but that number could fucking mean anything. Like it could be, it could mean these 3 monkey statues. And just like give you a number and then guess, because you're getting the information, but you don't have the hash or whatever. It's trying to explain that.
I mean, I thought weird. It was reasonable. I thought.
Sure.
Look, they weren't comparing it to like Jello or whatever the hell. So they were at least like using numbers instead of, I don't know, French fries or something.
And a number is simpler than a hex number or whatever.
Yeah, it's dude. There's so much. Like, there's so much of that still. They're still going on it.
Uh, there's a little thing where this woman is trying to steal May's bag when she's not paying attention,
Yeah,
and then Pero 2 defends it, and then the woman runs away, and then she tries to steal Pero 2, but
it
she
was
gets
pretty good.
tripped by BB's daughter.
Yeah, I love how she asked if he what did she ask, like if he does housework, like she needs a she needs a translator and cleaning robot.
Yes, she needs a Roomba that can also translate. And he's like, no,
I mean, who
I'm
doesn't?
not. It seems useful.
You know what I
Oh
can
yeah,
say for my
I see her. Okay, her equation shirt. M. It's just M cosine 1 plus sine 1.
what does it mean? What does it all mean?
Cosine
Am I
1.
am I
That's just a number. That's
am I
not.
being am I being rickrolled right now? I mean, sure, it's a number. I don't. It's probably. I don't mean it's like significant or
number.
anything, but I mean,
Cosine 1.
plop it into Google, see if it comes out to like 69. Could you imagine?
I don't. Like cosine 1 plus sine 1. That's just like 1.38 plus
That's
more numbers repeating.
that sounds
I don't know what-
significant.
And then it's times M. So M times.
It probably someone somewhere will be like, "Oh, it's this obscure thing from Godzilla behind the scenes episode thing." I don't know.
Weird.
There's always something.
Weird.
So with the text conversation, right? With the IM,
Yeah.
like we get all these hashes, and they're figuring out that it's dates. Like each hash code relates to a date, and it's messages from their text conversation, but they're all mishmashed. Like they're not all of them are in order, and
Yeah.
it's like still semi-comprehensive. And then at the end, it's what, like 4 days into the future, they said, like the messages they have yet to have the conversation.
There's one more text conversation and there's one more like phone call
Right, yeah.
with May, which is how part of how they figure out it's May, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, this was the point that I realized that this whole series takes place in the year 2030. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
did we just learn that in this episode, or is that knowledge that I should have had?
Probably should have had it. I don't remember.
That sounds right. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The Jaguar robot can't exist in 2021. We don't have the technology to build a robot designed to get its ass kicked.
I'm pretty sure we do. Have you seen like those police dogs, robot police dogs? They
Yeah,
can
I
get their ass
guess.
kicked. You could
Also,
just
they're-
cow tip those.
True. Yeah, so I didn't get was there like did they gain any significance from the text conversation that was going down? I mean, past the initial
I mean, other than that they
experience
know
of-
those two conversations are gonna happen.
Yeah.
No,
I guess I
like they're
felt
making
like-
progress in that they're like they have to figure out like how to fucking read it before they can figure out what it means. So
Yeah. It just seemed like I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be more in line with the characters. It felt like watching it like we were supposed to get more out of that. Like even if the characters didn't realize it, we were supposed to realize something, but I don't know, man.
I mean, my main thing is like these characters are still kind of crawling in the dark, trying to figure stuff out, and Godzilla is out here blowing up cities. Like, it doesn't feel on par. But like, theoretically, that's gonna help complete the orthogonal diagonalizer. Like, theoretically, but I don't know.
Yeah,
like, obviously that's gonna be the way they save the world, but
I mean,
it doesn't feel that way right now. It definitely feels like they're behind. Their deadline is fast approaching, and they have not written their first draft yet.
Yeah. I mean, what if they subvert expectations? What if they don't save the world?
Just fail. They just don't figure it out. Yeah, sure.
Well, or it's not even that they fail necessarily.
You just want to see Hulk win.
He deserved it. Say it. Like, you fucking deserved it.
I'm on to you.
Oh no, my secret's been revealed. Well, I mean, so they're trying to understand it, and like, how good of an ending would it be if they like obtain full understanding, but it doesn't mean shit because they can't do anything with it. It'd be a good ending for me. I did see some people on the subreddit were like, I shouldn't say some people. I saw one person who was like questioning if it could be a prequel series to the animated films, and someone's like, hard no. Unless they are like trying to do that concept in the future.
The thing I have learned from reading what other people have said about this show is that people are idiots and wrong.
That checks out. Why? What do you mean? What have people been
like? Just
stupid
there's
about?
Like basic facts about monsters they got wrong. So not trustworthy sources.
I mean, that tracks. Oh, I'm not. I don't. That person.
I got
definitively wrong.
Because again, my initial thought on water Godzilla form was, oh, that's water Godzilla. That's Godzilla, but in some sort of water form. And then I like read stuff. It's like, oh, maybe it's the fucking water Godzilla thing from like other monster from Terror of Mechagodzilla or whatever. Maybe it's a different monster because it's weird. It looks different. Instead of just trusting my instinct and believing in the noise I heard. The music. I mean, which is what I should have done.
To be fair,
so I'm just salty about that. I let myself be.
To be fair,
with other stuff,
Godzilla still looks dumb as hell.
He looks better by the end of this episode. I'll say.
Well, I mean, shooting a giant laser is a good look on any kaiju.
That's true.
I would respect him a lot more. But when they did those close-up, like, forward cam shots of his face, I'm like, you got a dumb face.
That's still true.
It's such a weird look.
Yeah. I don't know if, like, an actual good design would even look good with this 3D art.
It's so... Yeah. I mean, it's so wonky.
I mean, it's just cheap.
Yeah. I think...
Or it looks cheap. I don't know. Maybe
it's hard to...
I think it was cheap, but...
It's hard to recall because I've been trying to scrub them from my memory.
Shin Godzilla is all CG in that movie, but I'm sure that was way more expensive.
Well... Yeah, I would hope so.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
you can make CG look good.
The alternative,
don't.
The alternative
on TV budgets
is that. I mean, what if Shin Godzilla was less expensive? What does that mean? Could you imagine?
I mean, then you could have the
design.
You have the dude with like the little plastic Godzilla face mask in like a black jumpsuit and a like half a tail behind him that they'd use for the mocap.
Hell yeah. But I'm trying to think if
I mean, I know what Shin Godzilla looks like if it's less expensive. It looks like Gojibon, and it still looks fucking amazing. Shin Godzilla in that fucking puppet show looks fucking better than like literally everything in those Legendary Pictures movies. So,
you know what? I typed it in quick just to get a peek because it's been so long. Godzilla, like the design and stuff in the anime trilogy, he looks fine. They like it all. I mean, it's all the CG shit, which is frustrating, but like it looks okay. The design and shit, I think, looks better than here. They just wasted it.
Standard. It's pretty standard.
Yeah.
This is like trying to go for something different, which I
sort of
respect. It's just weird. I mean, and also it's to sell toys. But
sure, dude, that's what I've learned. Like 90% of the Godzilla subreddit is just people buying figures. So they're hyped. There's new.
This is what anime is all about. I was watching Gundam. Gundam did not become popular because of that show. Nobody watched that show. That show failed and got canceled early. It would have been more than 50 episodes. What saved Gundam was people buying the fucking Gundam toys. The models. The Gundam models. That's what made Gundam the biggest thing in the world. Was people buying the models.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, well,
it's about merchandising. That's why George Lucas was a genius, because he kept the merchandising rights.
Well,
that's what made him a billionaire.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll level. I don't look at many anime subreddits like for specific shows. I feel like there'd be a lot of.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, shocking.
I have a better rule. I don't look at many at Reddit.
I mean, that sounds like a very good rule.
I only look if I'm have a particular question that maybe someone has asked already. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I will type the thing I'm asking in Google and then add Reddit at the end, because Google actually sucks now. I saw a good meme about how there was Google how it used to be, and it's dude with the giant brain, and then Google now, and it's Pinterest.
Dude, the Pinterest stuff is so rough.
Yeah, it's SEO is so much better. It's actually Google actually is bad. It's not a useful service. It's not good at what it's doing a lot of the time.
I mean, mostly what I use Reddit for at this point is for like the Godzilla subreddit. I'm not really there to engage in discussion or anything. It's pretty much a replacement. Yeah. It's a replacement for news. That's where I would, because it's gonna show up there, and I'm not anywhere else where I would see it.
I get my Godzilla news from following the Japanese Godzilla channel.
Well,
and it's all in Japanese, so I'm probably missing stuff, but videos pop up there. It's oh, what's this video? Oh, it turns out it's a energy drink commercial or something. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
But that's where they put Gojibon, so gotta know when new episodes come out.
Naturally.
But I super don't care about we have 8 hours of figure news.
Ugh. Yeah, that's I don't even know if there's any figures that I would get. There was a point where I wanted some figures, but even I think Godzilla is on the cool end of figures. I don't know that I would even get one. I don't, if I stumbled into one. I don't
Yeah.
know that I would be upset about it. Like if someone got me
Like,
one, that'd be fine.
you
That'd be
know,
cool.
the
But
thing is, I want ones that are like really good and like tiny, like small
yeah,
things.
they're large. They're large figures.
Yeah,
Big.
I don't want large figures. Not
Yeah,
not
true.
interested.
I don't know, like, oh my god. If there's background noise, I'm sorry. Shit got a
I don't
little
hear it,
louder.
but
Okay, that's cool. It's probably fine then. The city woke up. um, yeah. Some of the Godzilla stuff, or I mean, it all goes hand in hand, right? Like all the other Godzilla monsters and Jet Jaguar. I would, you know what? I would love that derpy looking Jet Jaguar figure. Like the fat, wide, garbage
yeah.
one. That'd be pretty good
Uh-huh.
to have.
It'd be pretty good.
It's pretty stupid. Ugh. Do you
So
do you think we're gonna get like the upgraded like a Jet Jaguar Godzilla fight? Is it going to happen?
we have to.
Right?
Have
It
to.
has to happen.
I feel like
So
Jet
he
Jaguar, like if they like complete the orthogonal taglines, they're like Jet Jaguar will be the one to deliver it, or at least, or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Speaking of that, we saw what's its name? What's New Thing's name? Creature?
Solunga.
Sure. He got
Yeah.
domed. Seemed a little more
I
like
mean,
they
he got stabbed with the way that orthogonal laser bomb like stabbed him in the head before, but I think he's
I don't
okay.
I don't think it stabbed him in the head before.
It did.
Did it? Was it
Yeah.
as like did they put as much emphasis? Because this time they had like there was a distinct spike that like drew blood. Like it went through him and there was like a and like blood started dripping.
I'm pretty sure he's fine.
I mean, yeah, probably. Is
Let
yeah.
me see if I
I
can
don't know.
find the shot.
It's either gonna be. I'm still curious what I was gonna say. Like maybe him and Godzilla is like our big monster fight, but like Rodan is still out there in theory, just like the professor is still out there.
Maybe they got him. Maybe they got him this time. It's possible that one worked. They don't cut back to him twitching like they did the last time.
Yeah. There might be like it might be as a what's the word I'm looking for? Like something else will come of it. Like oh they got him, but that's bad for some reason. You know.
I mean, we saw fucking Angerus get shot with a pool of blood and he got back up, so
True.
they didn't double tap him, is what I'm saying. That counts as a single tap. I need these monsters have regenerative abilities. I need double taps, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happens. We get a scene of the dudes who work at Skeletons RS eating, and the one dude who's been investigating stuff, and his boss who was like, you know, it's a really good skill to like know when to not try to know things or whatever.
Dude,
However
he
he
had
puts
some
it.
he had some great quotes. Yeah, that little he rattled off like 4 back to back. And I'm like, this dude
like-
is on fire. Like I this is if I had Facebook right now, I'd be hitting him.
He's not. He's like, it's worse if I know things. That only makes my job harder.
Yeah, you know, give me the bare minimum.
Oh, it's about doing the bare minimum and eating food. There you go.
Hell yeah. I was a little disappointed we didn't get a shot. He ordered like octopus and something else, and we were in that shop. I was really hoping for a little close up of it. I'm hungry.
You want to see food in anime when you're hungry? Usually people have the opposite reactions. Like, no, don't show me food. Now I'm gonna get even hungrier.
I should clarify. I want to see the food because I'm hungry, because I also have food that I can go eat.
No, see.
Yeah, like it's not a yeah, no, if you have no food and you're seeing it, then it's hell. It's actually hell.
Yep. So I think that's basically everything before, and like May and BB's daughter find BB in the middle of that Solunga attack, and that's basically the episode until the Godzilla part.
Until the good shit TM.
Yeah, until like they give us our dopamine hit.
Oh my god. Not even I don't know. Calling it a hit is an understatement. It just gave us the entire supply.
Yeah, so like the fighter jets come in, they start shooting at him, and then there's it's like zoomed out and the smoke clears and there's like this little black dust that dusts up, and it cuts to like the military dudes reacting, and then it like goes back to Godzilla and he has transformed into his more Godzilla-y form, where he's no longer that dumb green. He's black.
Godzilla green.
Looks more like Godzilla.
There's a Crayola color, Godzilla green, almost black, but not quite.
That would be a different color than the color this Godzilla was, though. Also,
well, yeah, sure.
Because there's like older Godzilla movies where he's just green. That's just the color he is.
Okay, so a set of Crayola crayons where each one is a shade of Godzilla.
Hell yeah. Now you're talking.
I mean, I would be down. Think of how many trees you could draw.
Think of how many trees.
Think of the robust forest you could draw with a set of Crayola Godzilla green.
Don't you just want like forest colors? I don't know.
They go hand in hand. Green just works.
Whatever. He was Gamera green. That's what that green was.
Okay.
Because he looked like Gavra, which is what Solunga looks like. Who's from one of the ones we didn't watch.
Oh, great. Okay, I see.
It's
clearly,
Godzilla's Revenge or All Monsters Attack or whatever.
I feel
that's the one that's an imaginary story. Like all the Godzilla action is just this kid's imagination.
I think that you had us purposely not watch those films so that you could hold it over me for the rest of this.
I mean, I keep telling you keep saying like, "Oh, we'll watch these kaiju movies." I'm like, we could watch these Godzilla movies we didn't watch, and you never want to do that.
I mean, it's never that.
You can't put this on me.
That.
I've suggested it.
You haven't suggested it hard enough.
Because they're bad. Well, okay. All Monsters Attack, I actually don't like. The problem with Ever the Sea Monster is like just the Godzilla doesn't show up for fucking ever.
Yeah,
he only shows up at the very end.
Hey, I've been suggesting kaiju films, and I've also been vetting them so that I can rescind the suggestion. You're welcome. I learn. I make mistakes, but I learn from them. I've been doing that with a lot of films.
Thank you.
There's been a lot of ideas.
The homework.
There's been a lot of ideas where I'm like, this could be cool, and I'm like, no, we gotta look into it.
Yeah.
And then I look into it. I'm like, this would not be cool.
That's exactly why you have to look into it.
Well, no, the elephant in the room is something different, but it led to this. It led to a more, because I had done like the homework, like that was just a different bad decision. but it led to several good decisions since then. So, whatever.
Watching King Kong.
Mostly, that was a different bad decision. Look, the original King Kong watch was just cultural. At any like, because I had just never seen it or knew anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, my problem is that I have ideas for like groups of 4 movies, and then I'll like check them out, and then like one of them will be bad. And now I have a group of 3, and I wanted a group of 4, or like 2 of them will be fine, and 2 of them will be bad.
Yeah, I don't know. 4 movies is also a lot to do.
But I mean, you started this. It's in my head now.
I did, and like it took forever to get those episodes done.
Movie night is 4 movies.
It's true. It makes for like a good amount of stuff to think about, but it's also a lot to actually sit down and watch.
It's not terrible. I mean, for Western night, I ended up doing like 6.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot for me.
Yeah.
You apparently have all the time in the world to watch movies.
Well, okay, I haven't been easy. I still haven't been watching.
Also, I'm like, when I watch a movie these days, I like commit to watching it. I'm not doing something else.
Definitely. So. Look, yeah, for all those Kong movies, like I wasn't sitting. I don't hate myself quite that much.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if I were watching them, I would do that. I might look at my phone a little bit, but basically, I would just be watching the movie.
Yeah.
For better or worse, as someone who used to constantly just like be playing a video game while watching TV, I've somehow, I'm gonna watch a thing, I'm gonna watch it, or else I could stare at the internet and not watch it.
For Western night, you watch the 4 and then you watch the remake of whichever it was, the 7 Samurai.
Magnificent Seven?
Magnificent Seven, yeah. I couldn't think of the actual name. Did you watch the remake?
I did watch that. I don't think I did watch it. I think you watched it.
No, I think you also watched it. Because there was a bunch of...
Like, I don't remember that movie at all. So if I watched it, that is completely... I have zero memory of watching that movie. I don't think I check.
Now I'm extra curious.
I don't think I watched any extra movies. I think you watched it,
but you
were like,
well, because I was getting to like watching the Searchers, like,
which I also like. I didn't even rewatch that one.
Well, yeah. But like, that's understandable. I can't imagine sitting down and focusing on that movie entirely. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
I focused on like parts of it. I was completely focused on because it's just so rough. You can't look away. But
I have like a little bit of memory of like the beginning of that Magnificent Seven remake. Maybe I did watch it and literally
there was some
don't remember it at all.
One of the actors, I swear you were talking, because there was like one actor who you liked his performance at some parts, and I swear. I mean, that happens.
I really don't remember.
I don't remember lots of things. It's a blessing and a curse.
I remember Godzilla using his atomic breath in this episode.
I am going to remember
I watched
that
it
for
like
a long
20 times.
Yeah.
That was a rewatch this part of the episode like 5 times in a row.
It's so good. It's so solid.
Like, the power up, they do a good job with the power up where it just like forms all these different sized circles in front of him as he's like rearing up. And then turns into the beam.
I was hoping even.
And then it's like it's incredibly just Shin Godzilla. Like they're just ripping that scene off 100%.
Dude, yeah,
it's very funny because that scene is so good. So like, yeah, of course you are. Like
even
honestly, I'm glad to see Shin Godzilla's influence.
Yeah, Even
Glad to know it had the proper impact.
even in the heat of the moment, I was worried. Like there was like a millisecond where I was like, please don't just shoot like 4 rings. Please don't. And then his mouth starts like getting a little like bubbly or whatever. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But there was a moment.
Up.
There was a moment.
He fires out the laser beam, hits a bunch of buildings, goes through a bunch. Although it's kind of lazy of them that like a lot of those buildings are just have like this orange mark on them where they were melted, but aren't like they don't bother rendering them falling down.
Yeah.
Or breaking apart. And then they just cut to like the cutaway of like everything's on fire. Because that's what Godzilla did.
It was direct. It was direct, but it was so good. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. This is what I like. We got 3 episodes left, so hopefully that just continues building.
Yeah. It is, and it is definitely a thing of like the rest of the episode kind of doesn't matter. I just want like the 5 minutes of Godzilla shit.
Yeah.
They're like 6 minutes if you like you combine the beginning and the end. I'm not sure. Let me see.
More Godzilla destruction and more Jet Jaguar fights. Possibly both. Perfect.
I will say like I really like this Jet Jaguar. Like
oh yeah. It's great.
He's incredibly charming. No, okay, it's like 4 minutes of Godzilla.
It helps that we have like he has a nice little AI. So I was still kind of hoping that obviously we're probably past that point, but early on I was like, what if Pero 2 gets in Jet Jaguar? Like imagine him being cute, but then he's in Jet Jaguar.
Yeah, that's not happening. He has his own body now.
Yeah. I think there is still a possibility for it, like short term, right? Like if something were to happen for some reason and he would need to take over the body, I could see like a bit, but not.
But now that Jung has been literally renamed Jet Jaguar, I feel like he's pretty secure as Jet Jaguar.
Yeah.
And even his like AI, his little AI face in the phone is Jet Jaguar's face.
True. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Jet Jaguar gets a demotion. But yeah, it's a very good.
I hope we get to see Jet Jaguar get his ass kicked one more time.
Yeah. as the old man actively yells that, go get him.
Yeah.
His
head's been ripped off.
Gramps is going to run at Godzilla. I guarantee it. He's gonna fucking take a.
He's gonna be like
grab like a bat.
The main character of Digimon Season 5.
That means nothing to me.
The main character of Digimon Season 5. To get his Digimon to Digivolve, he would have to run up to Digimon and punch them. Actually, that was what he needed to do to get his Agumon to Digivolve.
Amazing.
Was for him to go punch the Digimon.
That sounds like Gramps, yeah.
There is also an episode where he goes and punches an ocean liner.
God. Absolutely blessed.
Yeah. Honestly, the show should be way better considering how much that happens.
I was gonna say that sounds like a very Hank level of enjoyment.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. Besides that, honestly,
that checks out.
But that part, is fucking hilarious. He doesn't wear goggles. It just throws off the whole equilibrium of the whole thing.
I mean,
character doesn't wear goggles.
After Digimon Tamers, that's the 3rd season that we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of it. Yeah. After that, just no caring from my end.
That's fair.
so
Tamers
far.
was the best season.
They can certain they're like I shouldn't I'm not I haven't written it off entirely or
Well,
anything.
there's I don't even know if it's still going because I was watching it when it was first coming out. There's a remake of Adventure. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Okay.
I like that more than I like the Adventure Try, which was
Old
like about it's about
characters,
the
older.
original characters, but like a little older. Because those characters
Yeah.
are actually existed in a particular time, it still takes place in the past because it has to take place when like cell phones are at a certain level of
Oh,
technology,
yeah,
like
yeah.
pre iPhone, which is funny.
Yeah.
So it's still a period piece because Digimon 2000 takes place in the year 2000.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm pumped to see where we go from here.
Adventure 02, year 2002. Yeah, I just want more.
They
God, I don't know that matte painting at the like that painting of the smoke at the end of the last episode was so fucking good, and it makes me mad that the smoke here is all CG because I just want them to draw it because it would look so much cooler.
yeah. To
This is
see
like my one thing.
that's definitely it sticks out. Like there's been those couple of times where we have just like regular drawn Rodan creatures, even a little bit up close, and they look so much better.
Yeah.
Like I just want it definitely stands out as being a weak point.
Yep.
Is like
I'm pretty across the board about this. Like all
is
anime. Like, don't. I don't like this practice of including such obvious CG.
is CG in that style just like cheaper than 2D or people like
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
was
it's
thinking
just
about
cheaper for what they're doing with it.
well because even uh I can't remember the full full name
But it's
Dragon
cheaper because
Prince.
it's being cheap.
Well,
Like
sure.
if they spent the time to make it look good, it would probably be more expensive.
Yeah.
Cause like CG can like the fucking Guilty Gear fighting games or like the Dragon Ball Z fighters that is like CG animation, but they make it look like 2D art.
Mhm.
Like you could do that. It's just that takes more work.
Yeah. Well, cuz even like Dragon Prince Netflix show. Like it's I think that would be not as good as Airbender, but like it's by I think the like two
Yeah.
writers are working on it
I
from
mean,
Airbender.
Airbender used the same
And
trick. It's just
yeah,
um with they only do it
but
with Fire Nation vehicles, so it
but
wasn't that
the
bad.
entirety like all of Dragon Prince is in that style. And
Oh,
it gets better over time. Like I don't know if it got popular enough that they got more of a budget or they just got better at working with it, but that early
sure.
shit was rough. It like it's rough.
Yeah.
As someone who
Well,
doesn't really
the
mind it too
main
much.
yeah. The main problem with I've said it before, but the main problem with Japan anime CG is that the the Japanese like insist on cutting it down to anime frame rate. So they set it to 24 frames per second, which to my eye just looks like fucking garbage. Like
Yeah.
it looks like a video game that's chugging. But like they're rendering it at 60. Like could do it at 60, but like stylistically they just have it in their heads that it should be 24.
Yeah, I could see.
And I just hate it. So
Yeah. Ah, well.
that oh yeah. So I don't know.
Maybe the next Godzilla anime will just be normal.
Who knows? Give me Godzilla Island 2. Like a Godzilla animated show. Or Godzilla Land 2. Godzilla Land 2.
Just
Like
translate
an animated Godzilla show for toddlers, and I will watch it.
How would you feel about? So this is kind of coming from like the the dark Muppet fantasy stuff. How would you feel about like Godzilla puppets in that sort of style? Like,
I mean, I love Gojiban.
okay, but not like puppets, like Dark Crystal puppets or something, you know?
I don't see the difference. You mean like Muppets? Like they have like big googly eyes?
Oh my god.
I mean, that's still not that far off from like Tadpole First Form Shin Godzilla.
Sure.
Which is one of my favorite parts of Gojiban.
But
It's
like
just
more
him being all googly eyed and gross.
okay, but more
My problem.
like
Okay, here's my
moving
problem. They're
parts.
not wet enough.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that moist Muppets.
Yeah. Oh, like full of open sores. Just like
I mean, yeah.
blood pouring out of them.
I call up the Jim Henson Company.
Call up Walt Disney. Got the next big Muppet hit.
Oh my god.
You tried to give them adult relationships. Make an adult Muppet show. Nah. Just introduce lots of practical gore.
I mean, yeah.
And make it really wet and gross.
I mean, there's a interesting prospect. Would my I don't know what to call it, fear reflex? Something? Would my grossness reflex still occur if a Muppet got cut with a box cutter? If it's a felt box cutter, would I still be uncomfortable?
Okay, I need you to watch the Puppet Resident Evil 8 trailer.
That's
It's not wet. Yeah, it's so good. It's like my favorite part of
Interesting.
Resident Evil 8.
I mean, yeah, you can hit me with it. I'm curious. I want to see a tolerance for puppet on puppet violence and gore.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Not wet enough, though.
anyway, I do need to be running.
Sure. Okay.
Ish.
Let's end this episode.
I am feeling better though. I'll say.
That's
think
good.
Talking is like cleared the fog a little bit.
Okay. Email saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find us at saltcirclepod on Twitter. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Find our episodes hosted at anchor.fm/saltcircle, and I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not on Twitter anywhere, so any of my fan mail you can just direct to Hank. He'll get it to me, I'm sure.
Or there's a link to the Discord in the show notes, and then you can message it. You can add him.
Don't at me.
Peace.